M. Ward has been a great friend to KCRW for many years. He has been through the station performing with, as a solo artist, as well as with many different collaborators over the years, and we'll talk about some of them later. But I think the reason so many people want to collaborate with him is because these talented musicians want to work with another amazingly talented and wonderful musician. And that's why tonight is a special night, because we're celebrating M. Ward's brand new album. It's called A Wasteland Companion. It's coming out on April the 10th, and it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to M. Ward.
I sailed a wide sea, climbed up a tall mountain. I met an old man. He sat beneath a sapling tree. He said, now if you got some questions, go and lay them at my feet. But my time here is brief, so you're gonna have to pick just 3. And I said, what do you do with the pieces of a broken heart? On how can a man like me remain in the light? Yeah, and if life is really as short as they say, then why is the night so long? And then as sun went down and it sang for me this song. He said, I once was a young man like you, afraid to do the things that I knew I had to do. So I played an escapade just like you. Yeah, I played an escapade just like you. I sailed a wild sea, climbed up a tall mountain. I met an old man. He sat beneath a sapling tree, and he said, now if you got some questions, go and lay them at my feet. But my time here's brief, so you're gonna have to pick just 3. And I said, what do you do with the pieces of a broken heart? How can a man like me remain in the light? Yeah, and if life is really just as short as they say, why is the night so long? And then that sun went down and he played for me this song. Thanks a lot. I'd like to welcome my guest, Mr. Chris Scruggs. Seems like everywhere I go, the sky is falling. And the concierge, she meets you with a frown. When I come to town, I ain't gonna lie to you. No, every town is all the same. You say, how does it feel to be traveling? How's it feel to live your life on the train and the aeroplane? Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. Every town is all the same. When you've left your heart in the Portland rain. How I wish it was not true, but I ain't gonna stand up here and lie to you. I believe you all deserve more than that. And if there's one thing that I've learned, brother, you know you're gonna get burned if you don't know where your love is at. Yourself connected? Are you down with all the latest trends to keep up with your friends? Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. Every plan works just the same. Oh, and everywhere I go, the sky is falling. Even the waitresses come and meet you with a frown. Yeah, when I come to town, I ain't gonna lie to you, no. Every town is all the same. When you've left your heart in that Portland rain. One or two won't do, 'cause I want it all. And a sip, just a sip or a spoonful won't do. 'cause I want it all. And I hope you know what I'm thinking of. I want all of your love. I mean all of your love. She said if love is a poison cup, well then drink it up. Because a sip, just a little sip, a sip or a spoonful won't do. No, that won't do nothing for you. Oh, but mess you up. And so I hope, yeah, I hope you know what this means. I'm gonna give you everything. I'm gonna give you everything. All right, here comes some new music. Everybody's doing okay? There's a singer everyone has heard. At night it turns into a mockingbird. If I whistle in the dark, he'll do that too. I met him on the road today, a silhouette on a black highway. I said, Mockingbird, you ain't no innovator. And there's a singer everybody knows. He makes the rounds of the late night shows and shake a hand to the host and the masquerade is on. You turn him off on the radio and he sings me and my shadow. You shoot out the lights and my shadow's gone. Down the bottom of the calendar page, fine print, yeah, you'll see our names. If I'm tied up to the tracks, so he's chained up to the road. At the bottom of the calendar page, well, there's a 1 for the one and a 2 for the show. For me and my shadow, shoot out the lights and my shadow's gone. Shoot out the lights and my shadow's gone. Everybody's hurt. At night it turns into a mockingbird. If I whistle in the dark, he'll do that too. Well, I met him on the road today, a silhouette on a black highway. I said, I come out this world is not my home. He said, you can have this world is not my home. When we're dancing and you're dangerously close to me, I get ideas, I get ideas. I wanna hold you so much closer than I dare to. I wanna scold you cause I care more than I care to. When you touch me with the fire and everything, oh, I get ideas. Well, I get ideas. And after we have said goodnight and then you linger, I kinda figured you'd get ideas too. Your eyes are always saying things you'll never say. I think they could be saying that you could love me too. Oh, but that's the whole idea. It's true, that lovely idea that I'm falling in love with you. Close to me. Well, I get ideas. Well, I get ideas. Well, I wanna hold you so much closer than I dare to. I wanna scold you cause I care more than I care to. And if you touch me with the fire and everything, I get ideas. I get ideas. And after we have said goodnight and then you linger, I kinda figured you'd get ideas too. Your eyes are always saying things you'll never say. I think they could be saying that you could love me too. Oh, but that's the whole idea. It's true. Well, that lovely idea that I'm falling in love. But I'm falling in love, that I'm falling in love with you.
Hi there, you guys. Let's hear it. M. Ward. I have to say that last song, I Get Ideas, I think is kind of a perfect place to start. Do you want to tell them about that song? Because I think it's kind of incredible.
Thanks, Anne. I wish I wrote the song. It's written by, I don't really know who wrote it, but it's about maybe 50 or 60 years old, I guess. And it used to be an instrumental called Adios Muchachos. Yes. And
then Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong covered it, and it's a beautiful version. So it's been around forever, but it's fun to play with these guys.
Oh, it's also fun to hear it the way you play it. For those of you who don't know the original, you should check it out. Peggy Lee does a version, Louis Armstrong does a version, and it's a very different take, or Matt's take is a very different take on it, which I love, which sort of I think is the perfect place to start, because I feel like you're a man with music from a different era. I read a headline about you in an article that said you're a 4-track man in a digital world. And I actually thought that was kind of a great way to describe the sounds I've heard from you throughout the course of your career, through your solo work. And I guess what I wanted to ask you is, what is it about a song that makes it stand the test of time?
It's a very good question, and I wish I knew the answer, but I really don't.
Well, you find songs you love.
Yeah. I guess it's a song that you keep listening to and you can't get out of your head, and so that means it's good. Like if you've seen a movie and for some reason it's with you the next day, that usually means it's good, in my opinion.
When you're writing, for those of us, and I'm going to guess the majority of us do not write songs, what is it about a ritual? Because I also read somewhere that you've used the same Tascam recorder, 4-track recorder to put your, I don't know if it's where you demo or if it's how you record, but what is it about that process, that very analog process, that appeals to you?
It's just something I've been doing since I was like 15, and I was lucky to grow up in the days before YouTube. You know, like, I mean, I'm still alive. YouTube is happening, but I was lucky to start music at a time where you didn't have to worry about, you know, making your first YouTube video before, you know, your first like cassette tape kind of thing. So I'm lucky that I got to just sort of put blinders on everything else except for how stuff sounds, and so that's why.
So
I'm
is that so that
obsessed.
sound from another era what appeals to you?
Well, I get most of my inspiration from older records, but I don't know if it's a specific sound. I mean, analog sounds better to me than most. Digital, I don't know. I think digital is great for like taking notes and like doing interviews and stuff. But I think, and you know, capturing ideas on GarageBand or whatever before they go away and you're on tour or whatever. But I don't. It doesn't sound like a finished product to me. It sounds like sounds like something that isn't finished. But that's just my ears.
No, it appeals to me, and the warmth of it appeals to me. I want to talk a little bit about traveling, because my understanding is that you made this record in a bunch of different cities with almost 24 different musicians, and was making the record. I don't know if it was written or recorded as. I mean, I saw that it was recorded on the road, but was that a necessity or a choice?
It was a choice. For the last 10 years, I've been recording records in Portland, Oregon, and in Los Angeles, you know, between those two places. But I've been invited over the last 10 years to see all these great studios around the country and in Europe, and I've learned the, you know, it's kind of a thrill to walk into a studio you've never been at before and meet the engineer who spent half their life there, and they know how to manipulate all the sounds so that it sounds beautiful to their ears. So that's kind of a thrill to you know, walk into a strange country in a strange place and walk into this room where this guy knows how to make everything sound the way that sound should sound.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think then through that process, though, and what I think you guys will find when you get to hear the whole record at a sitting, and you're hearing a bunch of it tonight, is that it still somehow is seamless, even though you were sort of all over the place with all these different people, and you know, somehow it still is a giant cohesive mass.
Thanks. That's I think due to my great engineers and my great mastering engineer, a guy named Bob Ludwig, and they make things sound seamless. You know, that's what mastering people do, and that's what great engineers do. So.
But it's also in the songs too, I would argue.
I'd like to think that. Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to think that.
They gotta have something to engineer, right? Okay, question about traveling. Do you like to be on the road? Do you like to be on tour? Or do you miss the comforts of home when you're traveling?
Traveling is great when you get a good, you know, time to recharge in between. And
do you have rituals when you're like, do you each city you go to the record store? Do you have some ritual that you do?
Like there's definitely certain like places that you look forward to going to, like museums or restaurants or seeing friends or whatever. But when you come to Los Angeles, there's so many choices.
Yeah, there are probably too many.
It's true.
Enough to get in trouble. Okay, something I also read, or there was a quote maybe you did in some piece of press for this record, and I think it's really poignant, and I think a lot of you may relate to this, is that you were talking about, and I'm not going to say it quite right, but it was something about when you're traveling and when you're recording on the road, you have to decide what you carry with you and what you leave behind, and be it material or something else. I don't know. Do you feel like talking about that? Because I find that really.
I could definitely expound.
Yeah, please. It really resonated with me. I mean, that's something I think we all have our respective
Yeah.
crises?
I mean, going back to what we were talking about earlier about 4-track, for some reason that sound has always stayed with me, and a lot of times when I'm working with 2-inch tape, or if there's absolutely no other choice, digital, I try to make it sound like 4-track on certain elements of the song. And so, it's a little bit like growing older. You have to decide what things you're going to keep, what things you're going to leave behind, and it's a little bit like when you're traveling to Europe for a recording session, there's certain guitars or certain pieces of gear or microphones that, for some reason, you want to keep with you. And there's other elements of music that are fine to leave open to chance and chaos and experiment. So it's a giant metaphor.
It is. No, it is. And I just, I remember that it was a U2 song, right? All That You Can't Leave Behind. It was something you take, All That You Can't Leave Behind, some U2 record from my life. But anyway, that just really resonated with me when you said that, and I was interested to hear what you thought about it. What about collaborations? Because you're, for those of you, well, I'm going to tell them a little bit about you. One of the great things Matt just did at KCRW, and if you haven't heard it yet, you've got to go back in our archives and check it out. He did this incredible Valentine's Day show for us, which, yeah, as y'all heard it, it's really wonderful. And I loved what you were talking about, being in an airplane and flying over the country. And what was interesting to me about it is it felt very solitary. Your talk, and it was very you, but you're famously a collaborator. There's a group called Monsters of Folk. You guys probably know that record. Matt's worked with She and Him with Zooey Deschanel. Matt's been a producer, Jenny Lewis and Nora Jones and all these other artists you've played with. When you're writing music, do you think, oh, this would be a great Monsters of Folk song? Oh, I should play this for She and, how do you do that?
Well, She and Him, Zoe writes all the songs, and I'm happy to be the producer, arranger, guitar player.
Him.
Right, exactly. Monsters of Folk, we all share the songwriting, so that's a very different kind of thing also. And then my records are all my songs and songs I like to cover, and it is a confusing life. It's a confusing life.
It's good.
Thanks. It's a good life.
Look, if you're not, what is it? If it's not confusing, you're not trying. No, if you're not falling down, you're not trying.
No, that sounds about right. I think when, as far as my songwriting goes, it's kind of always happening. It's something I've been doing since I was in high school. So there's this huge backlog of songs that are just lying around, and they sort of tell you when they're ready to be recorded. Yeah. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I can only imagine. First song you ever played on a guitar?
Well, the way I learned how to play was learning all the Beatles songs from A to Z. So that's
literally.
Literally, yeah. I checked them off each time I learned it. So that's how I learned how to play guitar and learn chords, and that was my introduction to music and songwriting and chord structures and all that business.
If you weren't a musician, what would you be?
I don't know. I like to be outdoors. Probably something that you get to spend more time outdoors.
Okay, all right. Well, then that brings me to Portland, because I have this perception of Portland, and I know you're not from there. You're from Southern California originally, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like you're closely associated with Portland, and I have this vision of men in beards and camping and things like that, and sort of rugged sporting goods stores. And are you that guy?
I don't think I've ever been to a sporting goods store.
I don't know, like buying tents and things, right?
Right. Well, it is very rugged.
And you don't have a beard.
People like to camp. I don't have a beard. People do like to camp, though.
Do you camp?
Not really. Not really. But I like to be outside, Be outside.
Gardening. No, I do too. Right, gardening. There you go.
Gardening.
Have you ever seen Portlandia?
Bits and pieces.
And honestly, I haven't seen it. I mean, I know I'm supposed to have seen it because it's hip and all that, but I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah, bits and pieces. Not, I haven't seen enough to comment, but I've heard it's great.
That's fair enough. I want to get back and play music, but I want to ask you about something, and I honestly don't know if you're going to play this song or not, but there's the song that opens the record called Clean Slate, and now I'm putting the pressure on you. If you don't play tonight, you all should listen to this, but I understand it's about Alex Chilton, and Alex Chilton from Big Star, way back in the day, the Box Tops, tragic loss literally 2 years ago, and you stepped in at South by Southwest because there was going to be a Big Star reunion there, and you played, and basically the reason I do what I do is because of him. And it's wild, and I want to hear about Alex Chilton. Or your relationship to him.
Yeah, I discovered a record they made called Third in high school, and a record called Sister Lovers, and number one record. These are all songs I put right next to my shelf with the Beatles and Daniel Johnston, and for some reason they all sort of made sense, and it's one of those things that you just kind of grow up with. And when I wrote this song, Clean Slate, I was reminded of certain elements of Big Star's music, and then it just so happened that he passed away, and it was a very sad thing. And then
so you wrote the song first? Is that
well,
right?
half of it, half of it. There was a Big Star celebration in South by Southwest, and so it was all kind of coming together. All happened in like 7 days, and so that's the first song on the record.
Well, it's a beautiful song. If you play it tonight, that'd be lovely. If you don't, then we look forward to hearing it on the record. But I know this sounds so. But I just feel like things are coming full circle. We're all heading to South by Southwest. I know you're playing a bunch of shows down there next week, and a lot of people are going to hear these songs that you're playing tonight, and we're really excited about them. So thank you.
Oh, it's our pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Since time out of mind I've been lazy. Times before that I was cruel. Times before that I was mean, I was mad. Honey, I ain't never had nobody like you. And times before that I was crazy. I saw the dark side of the moon, and the stars in the sky, they never caught my eye. 'Cause I had never had nobody like you. You know I ain't never had nobody like you. Now my life is just like, yeah, my life is just like, I watched my old habits die, and that was painful. Sometimes they're painful in the light of the truth. You kept me fast to the right. Yeah, I don't wanna thank you tonight. Honey, I ain't never had nobody like you. You know I ain't never had nobody like you. Now my life is just like, yeah, my life is just like, I trusted liars and thieves in my blindness. Yeah, I was wasting away at the root. But you kept me fast to the right. Yeah, and I wanna thank you tonight. Honey, I ain't never had nobody like you. No, I ain't never had nobody like you. depended on to lie here and casually watch as you go waltzing by. I've been shook so bad that I cannot stand to utilize my feet, so I gotta crawl after you and tell you who I am. I was raised by a tribe of Vegas cowboys who claim I was born from a union of dust and wind. And when I came of age, well, I sailed away a pine cone on the Rio Grande. Crawl after you and tell you who I am. And today is the day I caught up with you. I see you walking by the cafe mirror. Now should I stay here on this bus stop bench? So strange to see you after all these years. So I cannot be depended on to lie here. Just casually watch as you go waltzing by. And I've been shook so bad that I cannot stand to utilize my feet, so I gotta crawl after you and tell you who I am. He stomped with his feet, he clapped with his hands, he summoned all of his joy. When he laughed, it suffered all of his joy. When he cried, Sometimes when he got into talking, well, he could rattle on and on. He was a good man, but now he's gone. And in war he was a tiger. When it was over like a dove, he summoned all of his strength in the climb. It suffered all of his strength in the fall. Sometimes when he got into fighting, well, he could fight with you all day long. Well, he was a good man, but now he's gone. Put his trust in a higher power. He held his power like that holy grail. It suffered all of his faith in the lifting. It summoned all of his faith if he failed. His heart was stronger than a heavy metal bullet. That's why I dedicate this song. Well, he was a good man, oh, but now he's gone. Yeah, let me say good morning to you all. At the sound of my voice through this microphone line, consider that your wake-up call. My name is Billy R. Burroughs. I am not the man you think I am. Some mistake me for a writer. Some mistake me for another network man. I'm the guy who has just hijacked this channel. This telecast is now under my control. And now that I have a chance to say what's on my mind, let me tell you tales untold. For 30 years I've worked here at this TV station, in an editing room no one has ever seen, inserting laughter after every punchline, or gasping after every scream. But now I want you to give me back these years that I have wasted staring at these television screens. Oh, and now that I have your attention, let me show you what I mean. mask in the cloud, not the guy out polishing his nose. So tomorrow on your way into work, who'll be wearing the emperor's clothes? Watch the show. Ooh, watch the show. Ooh, watch the show. Ooh, watch the show. Thanks so much, Los Angeles and KCRW, for having us. She's a primitive girl, she'll tell you herself. She cuts to the chase, yeah, like nobody else. If you say how you doing, she'll say I'm doing well. She's a primitive girl, she'll tell you that herself. She's a primitive girl, she don't like to boast. From her natural hair to her natural toes, the girl's got a lot, what they call the most. Yeah, she's a primitive girl, but she don't like to boast. And I'd like to think I'm a primitive guy. I see the difference between what I want, what I need. And a primitive girl, she don't need me, no, she don't need me. She don't need me, no. Girl, she's gonna be free. She's going back to her basic philosophies. She's nobody's fool, you know I never should be. She's a primitive girl, but she's setting me free. And I'd like to think I'm a primitive guy. I see the difference between what I want, what I need. And a primitive girl, she don't need me, no, she don't need me. She don't need me. with your lover and the reel and the rock it. Roll it over just to move on up. Just try to further in the reel and the rock with one another. Roll over Beethoven.